Hi guys, I'm going to do a video today, well a series of videos, but I'll link them into one hopefully, on my Ferrari 85 Ferrari Mondial QV. The video is going to be removing and installing a starter motor. Looks a bit tricky just for access wise. I mean, starter motors aren't hard to replace generally speaking, but this one's a little bit tricky, and we'll see how we go. See if I can work out some easy ways to do it. Anyhow, let's get stuck into it. Okay, I've jacked the car up. I've taken the left rear wheel off and wheel arch liner, so I can get in to see a little bit better, have a bit of access. Also, all up on 4 wheel stands. Okay, safety. Get it under your car, use your wheel stands. So put a bit of light in here so we can see what we're doing. I've marked the bolts that need to come out to release the starter with a yellow X. There's one there, they're 13mm, there's one there. There's one there, and I'm not sure if I can get that other one in shot, but there's another one, believe me. There's another one. Oh, there it is. That's the top one. That's, make sure my fingers, yeah, that's the top one. There's that one. And there's one under here. You can see clearly marked with a, there it is, just there. The yellow X. So there are your 3 bolts. That'll release the starter, and then it's just a matter of undoing the wires, the positive and negative wire, which obviously you can get through to these bolts through the wheel arch. It's not too hard. I'm not sure if you're going to have to undo the clutch slave cylinder or not. I'm not sure if you're going to have to do that to get it out eventually, but we'll see. There's a bit of clearance here. We'll see there's a couple of plates here and there that could probably come out and make a bit more clearance, like this one here, and of course this one here, that corner piece. This is just a corner piece. It's 2 bolts to get that off. It's just a heat protector. So I'm going to go under the car now and show you what's under there. But anyhow, cool. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so I'm under the car, and what I've noticed, there's a solenoid there. It's covered in a rubber boot, which is fairly perished. I think I'll renew that. Superformance, you can get a new boot. There's positive and negative wires going into the solenoid. You just need to disconnect those, and it looks like I've discovered that I have a starter relay that has been fitted. It's not factory for my model 85 Mondial Australian delivered. It's not standard. I've looked in the manual. I've spoken to someone with an 86 3.2 Mondial, and he's let me know that he actually has one. He has a relay for it, and I think he believes it's factory. So mine, I'm not 100% sure if he believes it's factory, but anyway, he said he's had a starter relay. That obviously is a starter relay to me. I don't see what that relay would be to anything else. So it's just cut some cables, not cables as in wires. Don't cut wires. Cut the cables, the cable ties or the zip ties for you Americans, yeah, undo your 2 negative and positive off the end of the solenoid. Once you've undone those 3 nuts at the back, and you've done that, it should basically fall off. So I'll get that done and get back to you. Just as a side note, it's just something I've noticed, it's an observation. On the relay, there's a wire just there on that contact, that one there. It is really loose. Like it would fall off pretty easily. I'm wondering if it's a contact problem, because I've had intermittent problems with my starter. I'm wondering if I'm just going to take the relay off, suss that out, rewire all this again, like put these all contacts all back on, make sure they're all on properly, and give it a try, because see how loose that is. I'm just not sure if that's going to be making proper contact. I don't know if that's going to cause an issue with starting. I might look at that first before I go start undoing bolts and so on, and just try it and see what happens. Anyhow, I'll let you know how I get on. Okay, like I was saying, I was a bit suspect about the contacts of the relay. It's 12 volt 30 amp 5 pin, so it's pretty old. I mean, there's a very good chance that the starter motor could be sticking, and that's why it's intermittent, but it could also be something to do with this. So for $10 Australian, I've got a new one. I'm going to fit that. I'm just going to try it a few times, as in start the car a few times, and just see what happens before I go start pulling the starter motor completely off the car. If I get the same symptoms, then at least it eliminates this for $10, and I can then start looking at the starter motor. I'm trying to I've already been speaking to a guy, an auto electrician, and looking at getting my starter rebuilt as opposed to buying a new one. A new starter motor is $1,500 Australian, so about £745 plus delivery from the UK, so they're not cheap. So if I can avoid spending that much, I will. But at the same time, you own one of these cars, you only got to probably put one starter in it in the lifetime that you have the car, and you just have to accept that a Ferrari, some parts are just super expensive. But anyway, I'm going to put this in and fit this and see how it goes. Okay, I've rewired that and I've tried it, and I'm getting the same symptoms, so the other relay must be okay, but for $10 it's worth it was worth eliminating that. I'm just doing a bit of filming here, just making sure I'm going to put all the correct wires back on. So I'm going to mark these wires here. 1, 2 and 3 with an X, so I know that they go onto here. 1, 2, 3. So it's 13 mil to get those leads off, those wires off. Okay, and that little yellow one there was plugged onto the bottom here. So I'm just a bit of reference for myself. The yellow one was plugged onto the bottom one, the one that's vertical, rather than this one at the top here that's horizontal. Okay, I'm going to undo the other one. Okay, so as you can see the leads are off there. Okay, the 13 mil one at the back here, you don't need to undo that. I've undone it, but you don't need to undo it. Well, the best way to get into here is use a mini socket, 13 mil mini socket. One of these mini sockets gets in there pretty easy. This is probably, I think, the most difficult part, hopefully. Once I undo those 3 bolts from the front, from up here, then hopefully it's just going to fall off. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to undo these bolts. This one, this one, this one, all marked with X's. Hopefully that's going to release it. Normally starter motors have got 3, so using socket for these two and using this ring spanner for this one, and probably come in from underneath the car rather than through the top. So I'm just going to quickly just crack these. I hope they're not too tight. That one looks pretty good. That's pretty good as well. Now you just can't get to this one properly, I don't think, to crack it. No, it just doesn't get on there right. So I'm going to try it from here first. Got the camera in here too, so ooh, well, that was pretty loose. That wasn't tight at all. Could be an issue with that one. Trying to finger it out, but I can't. It's just too tight. So let's get this one out first. As you can see, this one, because it sits behind the actuator arm for the clutch. That'll be for the throw-out bearing. Oh, it's easy to turn with the spanner, but you put your finger on it and there's no way you can get it out. So it's just a matter of tweaking this out. Not very elegant here. Surely now. Okay, making headway now with it. Oh God, now it's tightening back up. Now it's coming out. Good. Okay, he's out. One bolt. Now for the other ones. I'm going to do these with the socket. Actually, I can just finger that one out now. So bring that one almost out. And let's just get in there. Oh, get the camera, that's not good. I've heard nightmare stories about getting these starter motors out. It hasn't been, I don't think it's been as bad. Okay, so that one's longer. So that top one is a longer bolt. That smaller one, shorter. Same size, but longer one at the top, shorter one at the bottom. And now for this one, now I'm hoping, and that's a long one as well, and it's the same length as the other one, so there's 2 long ones. So the 2 long ones are at the top, the shorter one is at the bottom. Okay, so hopefully there's not a 4th bolt that I'm not aware of, because I can't see one. So I'm going to get under there now and try and wiggle that loose. Basically just falls off. Okay, so I can't film that bit, so I'm going to need 2 hands. So yeah, I don't think I'll film that bit. It's basically just pull off this. If there's no more bolts to come out, which I don't think there is, it should just basically fall off in my hand, hopefully. We'll see. Okay, I'll get back to you. Yeah, so as expected, it fell off. There it is there, it's all loose. Where are we? There it is. You can see the little cogs that get the flywheel. So this, I've got to get somehow out of there. This plate may have to come off, but it's only two simple bolts. Where are we? There's one there. There's just two of those, one there and one at the top. Just behind that flange right there that my finger's over the top of. And then it'll come off, and then hopefully looks like there'll be enough clearance, but I'll just have a bit of a play first, see if I can get off without undoing that heat shield, but otherwise looks like that heat shield will have to come off, and then the starter will come out. So yeah, well, that's the plan. Okay, the way to do it, undo the bottom bolt of that heat shield corner there, and then just throw it towards the center of the car, swing it, basically pivot of the top nut, so you don't have to undo the top one, which would be a bit more of a pain. Okay, you push it forward like that, and it makes enough clearance there to come out, believe it or not. And there we go. One old ass starter motor. I'd say that's pretty old because it looks old. It looks old. There's the number there. And it's definitely a Bosch. Tell you what, I'll give it a degrease, I'll clean it up, and then I'll go over and suss out all these numbers. Okay, so here he is. I don't know if it's an original, I have no idea, but looking at it, you know, it looks old to me, it looks old school. So anyway, there's another number on the back here, 27222. And the number on the front again. I've got no idea what brand this is, but this part's a Bosch. I don't know about this. I don't know if it's considered Bosch or not. 1005821080. Okay, and if you can make that out, it's 542 Bosch 00, and it looks like it's 00011100004. 12 volt, made in Germany. Okay, so that's all the info that's on that. There's a little marking here, but I have no idea what that pertains to or what that means. There it is there. I don't know what that means. And there's just this here. The number's really difficult to read because there's some crud over the top of it. I'm worried if I keep rubbing, I'll rub the number off. Really difficult to tell you what that says there. Half of it's gone, and it's on the solenoid, and I really can't. The last three digits look like something 110, but I really can't see it properly. It could be a 2 for all I know. But anyhow, there it is. I think that is probably the key. Okay, well, I'm going to see if I can get this one fixed. If not, I'm up for a tidy penny, and either way, when I get it either fixed or replaced, I shall install it, which is basically the opposite to what I've done bringing it out. Okay, thanks. Okay, she's in there. You can see the solenoid down there, that little silver bit. Trying to get it in shot if I can. Down there you can see the solenoid. So 3 bolts done up. The torques on these bolts are 2.7 Newton meters, so 1.99 foot-pound. So I don't have a torque wrench that'll go that low or that will fit in there, so I've just tweaked them up. Spring washers on them. Okay, so I found it easier to sort of rest the starter motor here, orientated the correct way, and then go under the car and do it from underneath. So underneath, it's fairly easy access. So you sort of put your arm in over this cross member here into there. It's a bit hard to show you because I'm really stuck for space under here. You can see in there. There's my relay for it. I replaced that relay. I decided to replace it, and up there is the starter. You can see it in there. So all wired up, and I just tried it and it worked. So yeah, it's really hard to describe how to put it in from under here, but basically one arm went through here, up through here like this, got the access there, and then the other arm went around here, around this cross member, and I came in over the top. As you can see, if I orientate the camera correctly, you can see here I can easily get to the solenoid and everything there. So if you've got a hoist, it's going to be a lot easier. I'm on my back, but anyhow, it's all working, so it's pretty easy. It's just your wires, your power and earth and so on, and your relay. Wire them up, make sure these two are insulated, and yeah, and all is good. So anyway, that's that. Now it's just a matter of putting the car back together again, as in wheel arches and wheels on, and it's all done. Cheers.